How many times you go to your mailbox, you grab your mail, you go, oh, that's a bill, that's another bill, oh, that's junk, and then you just throw it on the counter. Well, listen, if you're one of the 1 million citizen insurance policy holders, you're going to want to check that counter because 300,000 of you got a letter, and you better read it. Forget the fact that the building is too small for their current staff. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's normal for you to walk by a police department off a public road and see officers training right outside the complex? Because that's where I'm standing, where they actually train. Then ask yourself another question. Should I be able to get this close to this many police cars at their own department? What do you think, speaking of roads, it would possibly cost to close a road down like this one, put on the hard hat, bring out a crane, to then have to put air conditioners 30 stories up high onto a condo building? I don't know about you, but it doesn't sound very cheap.
Behind me, a Palestine rally showing support for Palestine, and just on the other side here, a small gathering of supporters of Israel. Heavily, as you can see, a wall of Orlando police kind of setting a barricade in front of them. I told you about this sign that came down, and I want to show you just how strong the winds were. We were told we had a peak wind gust of 82 miles an hour, but I mean, you are talking about some solid metal cutting in half. Take a look at where this split right here at the street sign. All right, you can get a good close-up of that to see how it split, but let me show you where it was. So that's the rest of the sign that we had here.
Tammy, I can tell you this neighborhood has a lot of pieces to pick up, and I'm not kidding when I say this, because this piece right here that's in this yard, honestly, can't tell you where it came from. But what I can tell you is if you look behind me, there's a piece of a roof, okay? I want to be clear, though. This roof that's behind me is not from this house. It actually came from next door, that house you were just talking about that did, in fact, collapse. I have been working to get answers for concerned parents about what is being done in Seminole County to keep students safe. Interview requests with the Seminole County School Board have been denied or gone unanswered. But I've learned they've had mechanisms in place for years to protect from varying number of threats. But even that isn't 100%. For Army vet Tom Krieger, safety comes first, especially when it comes to his family.
Our children are our most valued commodity we have in the world.
As he works to help vets find stable jobs, he says his teenage daughter Kylie is his world. One that was shaken earlier this year after back-to-back threats at Lake Brantley High School. One day a threat on social media, the next day a student was arrested in an unrelated incident, and police say a gun was found on campus.
We don't want to get your kid to school and then have to worry about what's going on. Trying to get information was very chaotic. I was getting information from my daughter, texting. She was in the school gym, that someone had a gun at school, and, trying to figure out what was next and what was going on.
For parents, it was a stressful week. One that included calls for increased weapons detection security, including metal detectors to keep students safe. A call which Seminole County School Board members refused to answer. But records show the district does have a weapon detection program, a contract with a company called Zero Eyes, which the district has been using annually since 2021.
We use your existing video cameras, coupled with our artificial intelligence gun detection, to prevent threats rather than react to them.
Zero Eyes was founded by a group of former Navy SEALs following the school shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and it is used in dozens of school districts throughout the state of Florida.
The software is functioning. When there is an assault rifle outside of an elementary school, we pick it up. And by the very nature of what we're doing, I cannot tell you how many mass shootings we stopped because they didn't happen.
Sam Alimo, who is one of the co-founders of Zero Eyes, walked me through how the software works.
When the potential shooter pulls a gun out of a bag, our algorithm says, I think it's a gun. A still frame image pops up. The human in the loop verifies it is in fact a gun and hits dispatch. The moment they hit dispatch, that automatically syncs them to the local 911 operating center. They're on the phone with an operator.
Zero Eyes is currently being used in 43 states across the country and can detect over 100 different types of firearms. Alimo says his software picks up detections outside of schools each and every week. On average, depending on the size of a school district, Zero Eyes is monitoring 250 to 500 cameras per district. Since September, I reached out dozens of times, including asking each school board member individually about school safety in the district. The school safety security director would not meet with me, but did answer some questions in an email, one of which was,
how many potential threats have been stopped because of Zero-Eyes software. I was told the school safety technology has played a role in helping us keep our schools safe. As a deterrent, we are unable to completely qualify how many potential threats have been stopped. Zero-Eyes would not provide that information either, meaning it could be happening in the district. Guns showing up on cameras and neither parents, students, or the media ever knowing of a situation. An issue for Tom.
I would like to see some statistical data that proves that that does work, that it works. And in the time, the years that Seminole County's had it, has it worked? How many people have they stopped? You know, and as parents, we should know these things. If they're happening, why are they not being reported?
But to be clear, Zero-Eyes is a layer of security. For instance, if a student, not a mass shooter, were to bring a gun on campus in a backpack, the software would not be able to detect it until the firearm was pulled out of the bag and assuming a camera was in place to spot it. Parents like Tom have also reached out to school board members in recent months inquiring about metal detectors. He too is frustrated in the little information he gets on the topic or conversation of school safety.
Lack of transparency. All we as parents want is transparency to know what's going on.
Facts, true.
The cost for metal detectors at schools would come at an additional cost on average of about $19,000 each. In September, the school district said there are no discussions for adding metal detectors to school campuses. According to Zero-Eyes, increased public awareness about their AI software does not compromise the effectiveness of their security as a deterrent to potential shooters. I tried to get comments and interviews from the district's elected school board members on this topic. Members would refer me to a media policy preventing them from speaking. However, the media policy says they can speak as long as they are not speaking directly on behalf of the school district. Chair Abby Sanchez would not respond to any of my calls or emails for an interview request regarding school safety. In studio, Asher Wildman, Spectrum News.
Greg, Tammy, here's the bottom line. Yes, you're going to pay more. In fact, when people get their bill, the one thing they always go to with the eyesight, that bottom number, which is, of course, is the largest one that jumps out at you. However, what people and the city manager wants to reiterate is that when you get your bill here in the city of Leesburg, it has all the utilities listed on it: electric, sewage, stormwater, natural gas, solid waste, and of course, water. But here's the thing when it comes to electric. Even if you don't change your ways, you're still going to pay more.
Jerry Corbett and little baby girl don't spend much of their day wasting energy.
Yeah, this is my day. I just sit here and, you know, people come by and they always talk to me, and, you know, I like talking to people. And I sit here with the dog and we just enjoy the world go by.
The retired vet says his electric bill has gone up substantially. Living on a fixed income, he's currently unable to come up with the needed funds to keep the lights on.
My power went out about 1:30 yesterday afternoon.
But he is getting some help.
So I've got these power cords running from my neighbor's house to my house. So I have refrigeration, I have a fan, and I've got my TV for football.
Leesburg City Manager Al Minner says electric costs have gone up because of gas prices, and that, yes, increases will be seen across the board.
Double whammy, because gas hit super high numbers and super high usage months of the summertime to where the utility just couldn't absorb that. We hit, Leesburg Electric hit about 12 million in the hole.
Minner and I went over Jerry's average usage and bills. Even with using minimal power each month.
Miss Katie next door, I help her pay for food, Ash, and she cooks for me every day. Every day.
Jerry's bill saw a 49% increase, or about $37 based on usage. And that's less than what others will see.
The average bill for a Leesburg Electric customer is going to be $1,352 kilowatts a month. So they're going to see their bill jump from somewhere around $167 a month to $243 a month.
But what concerns folks like Jerry is there isn't much to cut back on, even if he wants to try and save money.
I have not changed my ways. I still run the three little things in this apartment.
Which moving forward will cost more to keep on.
And think about this, if you live in a 2-story home here in Leesburg with a swimming pool, your house is about 2,000 to 2,500 square feet, your electric bill probably going to go up at least $100 a month. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel here, because Minner tells me that they expect by about April of next year, electric bills to go back down. Reporting live in Leesburg, Asher Wildman for Spectrum News.